Hi, it's Jules Vandermaat here from Tapping with Jules, and I'm an EFT trainer with EFT International and an advanced EFT practitioner and a social worker. And I'm joined today by Lisa Evans, who is also a social worker and an EFT practitioner. Welcome, Lisa.
Thank you.
And I'm just doing a little series of videos on the benefits of EFT. And so we thought we'd do a little video on what you see, or we see as being the benefits to other mental health professionals. Lisa, from your perspective as a mental health social worker, what would you say about that?
I would say that after learning EFT and starting to apply it with clients, I don't think I could say that I've ever been happier in my work life than I am now, to be honest. Like,
high five.
Yeah, exactly. Once you go back, you never go back. You never go back. Once you go EFT, you never go back. The job satisfaction, like that's a big part of it. And I stumbled into EFT because I was, I'd been in the healthcare system for over 10 years. I was starting to realize that I didn't think I could do this work forever. I was starting to lose a little bit of hope about whether or not anything that I did could actually result in any meaningful change for people, and whether or not I could keep doing this for the rest of my life. So I just found like the work stress and pressures were building up. I had my own children by that stage. So I had my children, and then coming back to work, still working in a pediatric hospital setting. The large majority of the work that we do in that setting often is child protection assessments. And so you're really kind of assessing the capacity and the capability of parents' abilities, you know, to parent and that kind of thing. And that helps inform child safety decisions. There was, lots of pretty horrific cases come through the door in children's hospitals. Unfortunately, we see some of the worst cases of child abuse and neglect. So there's a lot of trauma that builds up in your system over time that you don't even realize is there until you start to struggle with it. So after 10 years or so, I had my own children, and I was really struggling to switch off work from home. I found that I was so depleted at the end of my workday that there wasn't anything left in my cup, and I would be going home to my own children and I didn't have anything to give to them, which then fueled this horrible guilt cycle that you can sometimes get into. And I was really struggling after becoming a mum myself to switch off from my clients at work. So I would think about them after work. Sometimes I would dream about them, and I was going, oh, this is not good. I'm actually struggling to cope with this work. And that's the reality. And then you have to start thinking, is this sustainable? Can I do this forever? Am I going to need to switch out and do something else? And if I can't do this forever, what am I going to do? And all those questions that come up and start to really plague on you and cause stress in your life. So I was starting to pivot from that work a little bit, and I was doing my mental health accreditation with the Australian Association of Social Workers, starting to move more into the mental health space. I had in my mind that I might work with adults in mental health, and it would be a different setting than working the children being my clients in the child. Anyway, we didn't quite get to that full point at the end, but so through my mental health academy subscription, doing PDs and doing the workshops and things like that to work towards my mental health accreditation with the ASW, came across Peter Stapleton's presentations about the clinical trials that she'd run on EFT, was blown out by the results that she was getting, and I really clicked with her learning style, the way that she presented information. Something about her felt like it called to me, the way, I really was super interested to learn more from her about, what she was doing with people. Anyway, so that led me to then go, oh, I'm going to try this for myself, because that's, practice what you preach. That's what's going to tell me if this is really everything that Peter Stapleton's talking about. Can it be that good? Well, let's try it, And so I went and saw a practitioner for my own workplace stress and some of that vicarious trauma that was building up in my system, children that I had seen 5 years ago and still couldn't stop thinking about. And I was, after that first session, that was me. I was hooked. I was absolutely blown away, sold. And I was ready. I need to learn how to do this. I need to be applying it to myself for my own work-life balance. I need to be applying it with clients because it can offer them so much. So basically the benefits for you as a mental health practitioner in being able to cope with your own work in an ongoing way, which makes it more sustainable for you, in being able to keep a full emotional cup at all times, so that the work isn't impacting on you negatively in the way that it previously did, so that when you go home at the end of the day, you've got loads of energy for your kids and your family, and your cup is full again, you know, and you're not feeling like you're not giving enough across either of those two spaces, which was something that plagued me a lot back then. So I've never been happier in my work life, being able to leave the office every day feeling inspired and enthused that I'm actually making a difference, because I can see the progress clients are making is a huge gain. And then being able to manage my own workplace stress and anything along those lines, where you're feeling overwhelmed, or you're feeling stressed, or the work pressure's building up, or the wait list is too long, all of those things that might cause you stress ordinarily in your daily life, you can really help manage with the tool of EFT. Because you have to use it, you have to do your own work. That's one of the things they teach you in certification. You can't just use it with clients, because
but why would you not use it yourself? Like, I always think, like, if I find something that works, I am doing it and doing it and doing it.
Absolutely. And once you learn about all the ways it can impact on your life, or things in your life that you can change using EFT, then that process becomes addictive too. You're just like, what? You mean this lifelong problem I've had with procrastinating on doing my clinical notes, I can knock that over in a couple of sessions? That sounds pretty promising. You mean,
and what about, like, for goals? Like, you know, like I wanted to leave the day job at the sexual assault service, but, you know, I was nervous that would I be able to make enough money in, you know, in private practice. Like, so tap, 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 and then bling, I just let that job go.
Absolutely.
Like, without EFT, there's no way, you know, I could have made those jumps, as maybe not at all, actually, but, you know, make them with confidence. Like, I believe in myself, I believe in this technique, you know. I'm scared there's not going to be enough money, we're not going to cope with the inconsistent income. Like, never been any problems with that ever.
And letting go of the security of, you know, the income and the super and all.
No sick pay, no superannuation. It's like, well, you just get an account for that, don't you?
Yeah, you're right, Jules. That was my experience too. Once I started to once I got into my mind I was going to start my own private practice and go into that world, so I was leaving behind government security, you know, all that kind of thing you get with government jobs that I've been in my whole life, moving into a private practice space, as well as on your own. You know, you don't have colleagues you can bounce ideas off, and I had to go and learn everything there is to know about running a business, about accounting, about designing a website, about how to write clinical notes, about how to use the Medicare system. Like, you have to learn all of that stuff yourself. And I would never have been able to complete every one of those steps if it wasn't for EFT. Every time fear came up, self-doubt, imposter syndrome, all those things that we as human beings universally experience, every time that came up, I was doing my own work, knocking that down and getting through that next blockade. And it was within, you know, quite a few months I set up. Already thriving within a few months. So I absolutely credit EFT for that. The benefits to you professionally with your work-life balance and with your coping with the stress and with the satisfaction you get from the results, and then the benefits to you personally because you're using it on yourself and you're improving your life every day and working towards a life that you want to live. And now to have the life that I do live, the work-life balance that I've got, and working as many hours as I want to and what days I want to, and if I want to fit my work into my child's school day this week, I can do that, so I can be there for after sport. Like, that is so
be your own boss.
Valuable. Be your own boss, and it's changed my life. I could honestly not say I've ever been happier. So if you're a mental health professional considering this, go do it. Learn EFT, get certified. You will never regret it. You'll never go back, really. And
even those things, like when, you know, like you still have clients that will get under your skin with tapping, but you use the tapping to deal with it, don't you? Like,
absolutely. You use it to deal with that, and then, you know, you might even find after you've used it on your fears or worries about working with this particular client, the next time you go into a session, the whole dynamic shifted and changed. And it's like, wow, like I've just fixed that problem right up. And right.
And there is a whole little community of us out there, isn't there? I mean, there's a whole little tribe of us other mental health practitioners. I mean, there aren't heaps of us, but we're growing in numbers to support each other and just help us
it's a whole other world
bring it in.
when you enter the EFT world, isn't it? It's
yeah.
a whole other world community, a sort of super supportive, amazing people, and that's been really cool to be in that world. The other thing I just came across my mind thinking about the benefits to professionally and personally. In this, I don't know if you had this experience, but if you've ever tried to do CBT with clients and may have struggled, as we mostly do, with getting them to do their homework, because homework's a big part of CBT. And it's like sometimes you can spend weeks banging your head against a brick wall trying to get clients to doing their homework. And with EFT, you just don't seem to have that problem. Once you teach the client basic EFT and how to apply it at home, you give them, you tell them what areas is safe for them to use it in and apply it on. And then they go home and they're starting to do their own work. They're coming back in enthused. They're excited. They're telling you about what they managed to do. It is not that hard to get people to do their homework when you use it.
No, because it's simple, isn't it? And you feel better so much quicker. Yeah, that is another really good benefit. All right, that's awesome. That's a lot of good points covered. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.